I come from backwaters of Jharkhand, in a place called Daltonganj in Jharkhand. I am Sanjay Sahay and I approve of this message.
So thank you for coming and thank you for actually
Welcome.
letting us into your home, though we are the renters here. But thanks for doing this because we don't get our landlords one-on-one like this. Not
Right.
everyone's super happy and comfortable to talk to, but knowing you, I think it couldn't have been a better person to begin this series with. So thanks a lot. What essentially we're planning to do is, everyone knows you
Right.
as the IPS, as the ADGP, someone who's been on screen, someone partly familiar, and a constant presence
Right.
across. We've all we've heard stories about you in uniform. There've been articles, but today I want to talk to the Sanjay Sahay beyond the uniform. Someone who's actually been so warm and welcoming. Someone who loves his pet dog Tintin so much that you've shifted downstairs for him. Someone who's been writing since 2016. I just read,
Correct.
and even you told me you've never missed a day.
Right.
And that is just like flabbergasting because this dedication, where does this come from? Someone who's, the first time I entered your house, you have so many stories, you have so many curios that it just seems like your house has seen as much as you've seen. So,
Right.
I think right off the bat, I actually want to know what gets you to write and this continuously. What's this dedication? Where do you develop?
You
this
can
habit?
call me as a storyteller, and what I have experienced in life, there are very good practitioners who have delivered in life. But unfortunately, their story goes unsung for the precise reason that they don't have the capability of exposition. So they keep it to themselves and it goes on, and on one fine day, he passes away either from the scene or from that particular job.
Yeah.
And there ends the story. My life journey is concerned, I come from backwaters of Jharkhand. And the most interesting anecdote of my life is that I was a very mediocre student in a very mediocre school in a place called Daltonganj in Jharkhand. Those days it was Bihar. And in class 9th, I realized that I'll not be able to make it to any good school in plus 2. So I started writing the principal of St. Xavier's School. So he developed a fascination, and as luck will have it, I scored the way I felt or I thought I would do. I did badly, so I had some 59 odd percent. But this father from a Jesuit missionary school, he gave me admission. That was from August 1980. So I entered St. Xavier's School in Bokaro. And 20 months down the line, I was in St. Stephen's College. So what has happened with me that I have been put into very odd circumstances over and over again, and might be a large part of it is of my making. Because generally I don't give it a thought as to how I will overcome that particular obstacle or how I would achieve something which is very fanciful. But unfortunately that has been happening, and the most recent has been my TV appearances. So I got into TV only somewhere around April last year. And in around 6 to 8 months' time, I have been able to make the presence felt, and everybody's opinion that might be I'm the most objective and the most empirical person in a completely murky sort of a TV environment which all of us keep criticizing day in and day out. So broadly, the capability to get into things which are not very simple, which are complex, and I think something rubbed off when we constructed this house also. Because this house itself has a long story and couple of architectural details we picked up from Europe. So some elements of this particular building or this property. So I think Lily had a fancy that we will have elevation of this nature, and the entrance should be this dome or some sort of a covered sort of a space.
Yeah, I'm sure
So
your travels would have influenced you so much in decision making, not just for your home, but just open your eyes to so many new experiences.
see, the challenge is only one challenge which I think most of the people face is the assimilation of your experiences into something worthwhile, which you can give a part to the world. They are able to assimilate and they are able to act on it. So that does not happen. Unfortunately, even the person is not able to assimilate and is not able to literally put it to any use. You just go through the experience as a dumb person and come out of it with some pictures and might be some social media posts and things of that nature. It does not get assimilated in you. And I love the geography of a place. So I think amongst all my friends who would be here in this colony, I know HSR the most. Any new restaurant coming up, anything happening on the sidewalks, literally I know anything and everything. And there's some urge in me that I should know. So this is my place, I should know. So literally I know this place in last 8 years, how it has come up, which corner, which edge. So I love this place and the way it fanned out. Because see, for us, we needed a house. We needed a roof over our head. And for a salaried guy, even buying an apartment in this city is not easy. So we got this and we had to make a house. And it had nothing to do whether it is Kormangla or Indira Nagar or Sadashiv Nagar or HSR or Jayanagar. For me, it's a very simple connect. I've got a piece of land here. I have to make a house here. I don't have a choice. But fortunately for us, this area came up in a very, very different way. And today as it stands, I think I find it to be the most fascinating of the neighborhoods. I've stayed ever in my life, India or abroad. I remember this Vijay Sharma is a friend of mine who stays here. He's a retired Indian Forest Service officer. So in the year 2000, so this ORR, Outer Ring Road, is 62 kilometers. Or it used to be 62 kilometers, whichever way. So he was driving me in his Maruti 800. So we drove for nearly 40 kilometers. Out of that 40 kilometers, we could see only 3 vehicles. So from 3 vehicles in the year 2000 to fast forward to 2023, we had a gridlock of 6 lakh vehicles on the same outer ring road. So this is the way this place has grown. I have lived in a totally unstructured life. As far as the amenities, logistics and things are concerned, whatever police and the government could provide, that's perfectly fine. But it is not that the whole thing has been an organized sort of a life. So for me, basically extrapolating into this sort of an existence post my job, I think it seems to be the most natural of the things.
So I think how you've described how Bangalore's changed over the past few years, how you've seen ORR, HSR change. What do you think, where's Bangalore heading now?
Look, 3 things I'll tell you. First is when I came to Bangalore, Bangalore did not have an escalator. So first escalator came in Bangalore in Mota Arcade on Brigade Road. Prestige Meridian was the first multi-story building, but for a public utility building, which I don't think any corporate would have ever even imagined to occupy. This is a sarkari sort of stuff. Bangalore was around 40 odd lakhs. So today it is 1.5 crores or whatever. This place is primarily an extension of the big lake which we have. So it is a lake bed. So those issues still continue and it exists the way it exists. But the living in Bangalore, but for I think your income part of it, or the money being generated, cash flow or whatever you call it, I think it was much more comfortable 15-20 years back. Now it has become more of a battle, and I think you being in somewhere connected to real estate and hospitality, you would be getting these sorts of complaints on a regular basis. So transportation is a huge challenge, and that is primarily of the making of the government and whosoever has been in charge of this. And the private sector also has not planned in a manner wherein the workplace and the place you stay, somehow it is in a manageable thing, which public sectors have done in a big way. So wherever in the most weirdest of the places, there is a place of residence also, which basically the MNCs and the Indian companies never thought it worthwhile as long as you give your salary. So I think rest is your job and you please take care of it. So as it stands today, I think we are at a precipice of something good or something bad, in whichever direction this city is taken. So you have all the wherewithal to take off in a manner to reach a good European city. Also, you have a challenge wherein the brand Bangalore can be diluted to a level that Hyderabad or Pune might just surge. So I think there needs to be a thought. Is the city is propelling because so much of destinies are tied that they cannot move out of this place. But that cannot be taken as a guarantee that city will sustain even without the wherewithal of a modern cosmopolis.
Absolutely. I think this ambiguity, this uncertainty of what's actually going to happen is a very good state to be in, because for people who take it as a challenge will actually extrapolate the best ways to
Correct,
get the city
correct,
in a great
correct.
position, and there'll always be critics.
Correct. See, basically, there are two issues. So, one is the police officers or a bureaucrat hat which I wore all my life. And the second is, as far as our relationship is concerned, it is that of a landlord. So, if you think like a landlord who has invested not only money but invested life in this building, so what you expect is that there should be a smooth flow, not only of whatever money is committed or rent is committed, but a relationship where I don't have to exert myself. And that relationship does not suck me. So you are there every day, Raghav, ye nahi hua, wo nahi hua. And fortunately for us, our first tenants, I think they literally pampered us in a manner that we always look for that sort of experience. We never interacted with Oracle, but I think we always got a feeling that we are completely cocooned. And what most fascinating part about Oracle was that now, after living here for nearly 8 years in this house, there are lots of times there is some amount of flooding in the basement area because of the nature of terrain and all that. It would be happening then also, not that it won't have been happening. I don't think in 8 years they complained even once. So they had taken this house as if it is their own. And there is a hotel management guy who used to take care of this house. And taken it as their own. And they saw to it that when they left the house after 8 years, because of their policy change, not because of any other reason, I think they gave us the house in a much better situation or in a much better state than the state in which they took the house. So that sort of expectation somehow, it started getting tied to whosoever we engaged in. We were very comfortable with Oracle, with very small amount of communication, and rest was only electronic transfer. But initially, whatever discussions we had, so they were very, very stickler to their conditions or whatever they required. I think it was a 109-point checklist. We were supposed to fulfill, inclusive of where the compressor would be, what could be seen, what could not be seen. So I also got into that exercise, and I'm very comfortable with whatever demands any tenant has for their particular requirement. So from there, then the Japanese company, I think they were more disciplined than I being in the police force. So it went on. Somehow from 2019 or 2020, from the onset of COVID, I did not find a tenant who was of my choice. And might be I did not find a rent also which was of my choice. So I was also eager to find somebody, and you guys were also eager to look for somebody. And I think the first time we interacted was for, I think, nearly 1.5 hours, if I'm not mistaken.
The conversation didn't stop. I think that's the longest first conversation I've had with a
So it just went on, and I caught fancy for you guys because you are getting into something very innovative in a sector which primarily deals with amounts of money or ranges of money. So one is your carpet area, second is the amount. I think in between the two, there is not much scope for discussion or how many months advance this, that. So what I found it to be very interesting is that you are getting into a concept and you are trying to focus in an area which was unattended, and you were able to locate that area, and somehow you felt that you have the confidence, wherewithal, and the energy to propel in that space and establish yourself. So that is where I became fanciful. Then you showed me a couple of those pictures. I like those apartments, or the way you have done it up, and the way finally you did our house. So I think those were the things, and I'm very happy to work with youngsters. This is not working, but still to be associated with youngsters who see the world from a totally different angle, from which our generation saw. So I have tried my level best to be abreast with whatever changes have happened. Nonetheless, I think age is a factor which we have to accept, and I cannot think exactly the way you can think, but I try to be as close to that. So I found that, okay, the house is going for is more of a, when they say when you buy a share, so you are you have a share in that business. So I think might be that analogy operates when I got in with you guys, that I felt that somewhere I also share your company, and if it does well, I'll also be happy. And
absolutely. I think we treat all our landlords as partners. Ultimately, we are there because you're there. We are codependent. So
correct.
And that's the only thing that's making this work. With folks like you who are actually so encouraging is what we need, because we're also in a space where, especially real estate in India, is super trust deficit.
It's a murky space.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are a lot of headwinds than tailwinds.
Correct.
So to grow, I think we need folks like you to be with us, encouraging, and I think you've been like.
We remember one of those instances even before we got officially engaged with this, and there's some tenant of yours was creating some issue.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I think that built our relationship even further.
Yeah. I think that's great. Just to conclude this, I'm just curious, like, what advice do you have for people who are opening their doors, to us, to tenants, to potentially anyone who's going to occupy their own home? Because people tend to, of course, as a landlord, as someone who's stayed in this, it's a very personal space, a space where actually is contained more with your memories than ours. So, any advice you would give to, like...
See, there are two types of landlords. And I've been told that Bangalore has worst of the landlords comparable to anywhere in the world. And they have compared primarily with Dubai and New York. So, that being said, there are landlords who just want to extract money out of their property. So, though primarily it looks like a residential property, they are all those Shylock type mercenaries. So that is one brand of landlords. The other brand of landlord is when you asked me, sir, you do this, you do that. So I told you to this level I can go. Beyond this, it will be difficult for me to invest. But I was investing in my property. I was not investing in something else. So somebody who comes with a thought process, you will find it easy to align. And I think you people are already through with some 100 properties or so. So you have a fair idea of Bangalore's market, and you know how to create a niche. Now, moving further, I personally feel from a very layman point of view that you standardize your residential offerings primarily into three types. The bedrock remains the same. Is that what you call as a different sort of experience from normal renting and all that? That remains the same. But of the properties which you take, you divide into three categories, A, B, and C. And depending on whatever market you address, it might be on the duration of time, it might be on the amount of money which you can get from them. You can draw your own parameters. Then it will be very easy to fix the landlord also, and it will be very easy to fix the tenant also. Otherwise, what you are doing, you are running a general search. And general search will take you too much of your compute and will keep playing around with the database wherever it is not required also. So broadly, that area, as far as the way you people are creating these living spaces, I don't think I have anything to add. And I'm happy when I see this place, I feel happy. And I think in last couple of months, I've visited your website any number of times, not to see what the way my house looks or the way you are keeping your other property, but I've shown it to a couple of people, many people, that this is the way my house looks. Best wishes from my side. May Flent do way beyond your imagination. Thank you.